A beautiful morning to you and welcome to the newspaper review right here at Prime Media TV. I am Ayo bringing you the newspaper review, and coming up we have these headlines to be reviewed with you today. Nigerians trend the hashtag Tinubu must go to end hardship. Sirika family members get 300 million naira bail in EFCC's multi-billion fraud charges. Senegal, the youngest president, Diomaye Faye, banned ceremonious welcoming of the president, and we have other stories that will interest you on this session. But before we go into all that we have for you today, let's go on a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to back to the show. So to the first story we are set to review with you today. Nigerians trend Tinubu must go to reject hardship inflation imposed on them by government. Let's see the story in details. Sahara reporters earlier reported how a member of the People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Council Adetokunbo Pierre said that President Bola Tinubu was just a bookkeeper while describing his economic policies, especially on petrol subsidy removal, as a disaster. Some Nigerians on social media platform X have started trending Tinubu must go to lament the current socio-economic situation of Nigerians as a result of President Bola Tinubu's failed economic policies. So I think this is what is trending online whenever you see people having conversation, especially on the popular platform, the X, formerly known as Twitter. Any conversation that has to do with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you see at the end of it, they include the hashtag Tinubu must go. But then I would like to hear your thought that is it enough to put an hashtag or to go about carrying placards, showing us that truly you want this administration to come to an end? So what's your thought on this?
Okay. If you ask me, I will tell you that I think it is better to prevent the problem from onset. All right. The people voted, and it was clearly noted or noticed that so many things went wrong, and everybody kept quiet. Okay, now, do you think someone who didn't mind you from the beginning and is now seated there will now mind you saying he must go? You didn't put him there. I don't think you have the power to sack who you did not hire. All right, so I think it's just the Nigerians should know that if they really want this administration to change in their manner of doing things, we must come together. There is power in numbers. We must come in our numbers, not minding the ethnic, the tribes. We need to come back with a great force. That is only when our voice can get to them. If it's just some few group number of people coming together and saying he must go, this thing he's not moving them. These people, I can say they don't have conscience. All right? If they can go extra mile to get themselves to wherever they want to sit on, I don't think hashtag or whatever, he must go, we move them. But if Nigerians can come in uniform, be it Yoruba, the Igbos, the Hausas, come in great mass and say, this enough is enough. They are not more than the masses. Do you get? The people in power are not more than the people. So if the people can come together, their power is not the match of the people. It's a matter of coming together, not just the Tinubu must go or whatever. No, he's not the only one that needs to go. There are so many other people, even governors. Even so many people are occupying the power, governing the affairs of this nation, and these people are not the right people. So if we are saying this administration it's not just one person. So to me, I feel that it's not enough to go about writing Tinubu must go. Let the people come together. If they come together in masses, the voice will be loud, and they will have no option than to listen. That is what I feel.
Well, we must be careful on something when it comes to the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people can be patient, we can be resilient, we can, we can be self-controlled to some extent. There's a limit to how far we can take things. We must also be careful of the fact that if Nigerians are giving you signs that this is what we will do, it will first start like from a little conversation, and before you know it, it will escalate. Likening what is currently happening to what happened in 2020. In 2020, Nigerians started on that same platform on Twitter, then X, formerly known as Twitter. They started the hashtag EndSARS, End Police Brutality, in 2020. And it was seeming like a casual conversation. It was looking like just a normal trend, a normal hashtag that people do to get algorithm on Twitter to favor them because it was the trending hashtag. Then Nigerians started like that. Any people began to share their experience on police brutality. They include the hashtag EndSARS and all of that. Before you know it, EndSARS hashtag became a movement in 2020, and it was what led about protest in many parts of the country. There was protest in Abuja. There was the one in Ibadan. There were a lot of protests before it finally ended at Lagos. Then in 2020, and you can attest with me that the 2020 end police brutality, EndSARS, whatever, it ended up becoming a massacre. It was a battle. As at then, when the government opened fire on the youth, and we saw that a lot of people lost their lives. People lost a lot of family members to that. So this is where I'm coming from, that we must be very, very careful when it comes to the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people are to some extent, they are resilient, but when it gets to a point, Nigerians do not care what will be lost, and you can see that at the end of that
exactly
massacre.
What points are we going to really get to? Has Nigerian come to this point we are now ever? Has Nigeria ever experienced this kind of horrible experience where people are not able to cater for themselves? A lot of irregularities on broad daylight. It baffles me why the Nigerians are still quiet. Because before now, 1/4 of what is happening now in the country wouldn't have happened, and the people will go on the street. So why is everybody cold?
We must take note of the fact that during an administration like that, when they were selling fuel for 140 naira, we saw that Wole Soyinka led the movement then that year, and he said 140 naira is too expensive for Nigerians to be buying fuel. But the same Wole Soyinka is alive today, and they're selling fuel for close to 700 naira. Some people are even selling more than. I saw the story of a man who was lamenting bitterly that he had to pay 1,000 naira to get fuel of 5 liters. The same Wole Soyinka is alive today, and he is not saying anything about it. So this is the point, that the Nigeria that we are now has gone past waiting for one popular influencer to come and talk about, to come and lead the movement on the change that we want.
And the problem is also that nobody cannot make the move, because if anybody without power in this nation make any move against the government will go against the person.
But then how long are we going to keep waiting for any powerful person to come and lead the movement?
The governments are leading us autocratically, even though we are not in autocratic government anymore. In a situation whereby the people have the right to air their mind, but you cannot air your mind anymore in this nation and go scot-free. Even a journalist is being arrested just because he is carrying out his duties. And nobody, government do things these days in a way that nobody can question them. A government that is not accountable to anyone. So they feel that, as a matter of fact, they don't consider how we feel, the pain their actions will bring on us, the citizens. So on this everybody have to be careful. I'm telling you.
So are you then condemning the action of the people raising the hashtag Tinubu must go?
I am saying that we can do better than that, because that hashtag is not moving them.
In what ways can we do better?
Now, if the Igbos, if the Yorubas, if Hausas can come together, I tell you that the strength of a broomstick is in numbers. If we can come together in mass, look at what you were saying about the NSAS movement. It was felt. The politicians, our leaders, they felt it because of the number of people, because of the massiveness, that the turnout all over the nation. So if Nigeria is really feeling this administration so bad and so hard that they want them to go, is beyond hashtag. I tell you, when the people come together and make a move, they will hear. Even if they cannot see, they will hear. So it's beyond the hashtag, because this administration have no respect. They don't have conscience. If they have conscience, Nigerians will not be going through what they are going through even till now.
Well, we must also take note of the fact that, like the case of the NSAS protest, it started from somewhere. You cannot just, I think the social media is one big family that has connected a lot of people together. By the time people share their experience, to a common ground. And I think the common ground is where we are today, where Nigerians are coming up with the hashtag. And as the hashtag is trending, don't be surprised that, like the NSAS protest, people will begin to create WhatsApp group, Telegram groups, and they will begin to have. Don't be surprised that there are going to be quite a number of meetings ongoing while this hashtag is trending. I heard something. Sometimes I heard somebody say a time is coming in this country, especially during the upcoming election, that you have to register to become a part of a movement. I won't want to conclude. I won't want to dwell on that, so we don't digress. But we must be conscious of the fact that Nigerians are making progress. They are making progress to see that the revolution because there's really no, people are saying that what this administration needs, what Nigeria needs now is reform. But we can see that the Nigeria of today has gone beyond reform, and people are beginning to talk about revolution. If as long as this hashtag continues to trend and people bring in different perspective as to the reason why this administration must end, then people will get to a common ground. Then they will be fighting for one good cause, like it happened in 2020. They came together and they saw reason why they must put an end to the SARS movement, and people came about in their large numbers. So we acknowledge the effort of Nigerians, that Nigerians are making progress. At the same time, as we are trending all of this hashtag on social media, we should also come about with it in the real life. So we are ending on this note and moving on to the next story. Sirika family members get 300 million naira bail in EFCC's multi-billion fraud charges. Very quickly, let's see the story in details. A former Minister of Aviation, ID Sirika, has been granted 100 million naira bail in fraud-related charges instituted against him and others by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Bail was also granted to his daughter Fatima and son-in-law Jalal Amar. In like sum, but they would be remanded at the Nigerian Correctional Services if they fail to fulfill the conditions outlined by the court. See, what really interests me in this story, we have quite a number of pictures that will be displayed on screen. What really caught my attention in this story is not even about the EFCC, whatever. What caught my attention are the pictures. Somebody that has been charged to court, you are accused of, gone are the days that people will commit an offense, and while they are in the police custody or while they are being charged to court, they cover their face in shame. They hide. They don't want people to see them. They are remorseful and all of that. But in these pictures, I see this man waving. Even had escorts. special vehicles brought them to the court, and himself, the son, the daughter, and the son-in-law. So these are the things that caught my attention. That where have we gotten to in this country that a criminal can walk about? Okay, this one is not a criminal, somebody who has embezzled money. What are we going to call this man? He was just waving, throwing his hands, smiling. He was even on shades and all of that. So now the question is, where have we gotten to in this country? You are charged to court for an offensive act as this, for something as disgraceful as this, and you still have the audacity to be waving at people. You are even smiling. It's even on Agbada and all of that. So where has he been all this while this case was being probed? So let me hear your thoughts on the story.
Oh, Nigeria is a nation where abnormalities are seen as normal. Nigeria is a country where illegalities are being legalized. Now, why won't he be waving? Why won't he be smiling? Why will he be remorseful when somebody is convicted, of multi-billion fraud, and you are granting him bail of 300? Okay, now, okay, how much is 300 million compared to the amount that it is certain, not as if it's not an accusation. For him to have been charged, it's not an accusation. Now, do you know why our politicians will keep on looting? Because there is no punishment for looting. There is no punishment for mismanagement of the government treasury. I didn't mean there is punishment like a death sentence. If there are strong punishment like we have when for drug people into drug and other, if there is punishment, and of course they cannot. I don't know if they have that inclusion in the constitution, where a government and anybody sitting in power loots and they are punished. I believe there will be reduction to these cases of looting, and what the only thing they can do is to charge them, grant them bail of high amount. You loot billions and you have to pay millions. Won't you pay? So why won't he be happy? Why won't he? It's still them. They are just doing it, letting it be that okay now all the money they have been recovering. What are we seeing them using it for? Nigeria they are playing game. They are just after everything they are still going to sit down in one table, have their meeting, drink their tea. So you can't be remorseful.
Yeah,
he can't.
Well, I tried to see Nigerians' reaction on social media, and this person said, "Chai, this image is hard to watch. So big thieves in Nigeria majestically walk to court, but ordinary bread thief gets mauled by the same people protecting the stealers of their commonwealth. By the way, EFCC, where is Yaya Bello?" This was this person's reaction to that comment. I remember the case of Akpabio, the current Senate president in Nigeria. While Akpabio was the governor of Akwa Ibom State, he was charged for 102 billion naira fraud. And then Akpabio claimed that he had pneumonia. He couldn't breathe properly. We saw videos, and EFCC took pity on Akpabio. And right after they took pity on him, that was the end of the case. Akpabio is ill and hearty now. He is the current Senate president. What happened? Why haven't they probed the case further? He's still he's still moving about, swaying himself and all of that. This year alone, Akpabio was accused by Senator Ningi at the Senate House that there is a case of budget padding. The budget that was signed at the Senate House was 26.3 trillion naira. That was the budget the Senate House signed. There was a padding of 1.3 trillion naira on it. A senator stood up and said, "Akpabio, we don't know how much you are earning. We don't know the cars you are using. We don't know how the money that is going into you. We don't know. We have no idea." Meanwhile, all of us are on this table together. Because of what that senator said, that senator was sacked. He was suspended for 3 months. Justice was not made. We did not even hear from Senator Ningi again till date. Why? Because he said the truth. There is the case of this Yaya Bello that this commenter mentioned. There's the case of Ododo who hided Yaya Bello. And it is making us to ask that all of these people, they embezzle money. We don't get, they still move about freely.
Freely.
But look at this poor guy, Bobrisky, that spends money. Or he only spray money.
His own money,
He's in 6 months in prison. He has been sentenced to 6 months imprisonment. Meanwhile, there is another person who was accused of the same offense, who pleaded not guilty. He paid millions of naira as bail. There are the cases of our governors spraying money at parties. They will go for rallies, spray money on the floor. These people were not. They have not been arrested. They have not been questioned. Criminals Nigeria, are still walking about freely in this country.
Nigeria is a country where big thieves are not thieves. I don't know. Nigeria is the country where big thieves are not seen as thieves. Go and steal bread, and let the person come.
Mob the person
let police be involved. You will see how a policeman will mishandle somebody for stealing of bread out of hunger. But our politicians they are not stealing. They are not. They pack the money, and they still go on with securities. I don't know this nation. You talk about revolution. Only we can end this thing. I was reading somebody's comment on this, and he said he's not a fan on the former stories. He said he's not a fan of President Tinubu. He said, but I think Tinubu need to stay alive to teach Nigerians lesson. That was one of the somebody comment on the former story where the hashtags. He said they put Tinubu need to stay alive to make Nigeria suffer and understand the importance of voting for the one you want.
Then let's quickly wrap up on this other story.
Okay.
Let's quickly wrap up on it. Okay. Moving on to the next story. We are looking at the story of the Senegal youngest president, Diomaye Faye, who has just banned ceremonious welcoming of the president, according to him, that these people has other important things they can be doing with their time. I would like to quickly rush through the story so we can react on it and then move on. Senegal President Bassirou Diomaye Faye surprised everyone by announcing a very unusual decision. He no longer wants to be greeted by military and civilian authorities at the airport during his official trips. Clearly, we no longer want formal welcoming ceremonies. It is a break with traditions of the past. Why this decision? President Faye wants things to be simpler and faster. He doesn't want important people mobilized just to welcome him at the airport. He thinks these people have more important things to do. So he decided that he would arrive and depart from the airport without any fuss. No formal greetings, no ceremonies, just him and his team. This measures aims to have time for executives who were often mobilized to welcome him. They will now be able to go about their business rather than waiting for the president at the airport. It is a very modern and practical approach. President Faye, this shows that he is a leader who cares about efficiency and respect for everyone's time. It also shows that he doesn't need official ceremonies to feel important. It is a lesson in modesty and respect for all. In short, President Faye has decided to break with the traditions of the past to make way for a new way of doing things that is simpler and more respectful of everyone's time. A decision that will certainly be appreciated by many. Courtesy of John Ogunlela. When I saw the story, I was extremely happy. I was extremely joyful because since he became the Senegal president, I've been following up on him to see. There is a way people feel like, hey, after you have entered, you are in the position now. Let's see how you are going to function. So I've really been following up on the story to see how, he's just a 44-year-old man who is lucky enough to become the president of Senegal people, and the people celebrate because when he was released, he was released from prison 10 days before the election, and Nigerians are waiting because we have African leadership is a mess, and we are just looking at how it is going to become better and all of that. And when he became the president, we were all excited about it. But then this man again, as soon as he became president, he did something that no one was expecting. He mandated every persons in Senegal, every citizen of Senegal, that no more to paying your tax to the France government. You must pay your tax to the treasury of the Senegal of Senegalese. And we were all excited. Like this is he knew what he wanted and he ensured that he enforced it. But then I would like that we quickly relate how can we what lesson can we draw out of the Senegalese people? What lesson can we draw out? Relate it with our beloved country. Let me hear your thoughts.
You know, that action of his will help to save resources for the nation,
Yeah.
for that nation. Now, in our government today, in Nigeria, for every move of our politicians, the government is paying. Let me just say the people are paying because they are paying them from the taxes that the Nigeria generated from Nigerians. Now, traveling allowance. For whatever movement they are making, they are not making this movement. All this movement is not from their personal money. So I believe this. When you said it is the youngest president with young initiatives, with just imagine, okay, president, governors, or executive that of course they have offices they are occupying, and there are responsibilities for them. All this time going to follow Mr. President is going, all of them will go on flights, wasting money, wasting time. I was so happy when I saw this news because it will all these the organizing party, welcome party for the president. A lot of money, a lot of funds are being consumed. So all this, with this kind of development, is no longer going to happen. The nation will be able to save. He's going to. Don't be surprised. He's going to emerge the best president because he's taking steps that are, helping. That's very helpful in saving money and channeling this money into other important things.
Yeah. When I saw the story, when I read the story and I got a hint of it, the first thing that came to my mind is that Dioma Ifai is doing well.
Very well.
He understands people's time. He understands
the importance.
That understand the importance of time, and they will not waste it at any opportunity. They will, whatever time they have, they seize it to do something really meaningful. He understood that, and the next thing that came to my mind is, oh, my beloved country, we can do better. You see that the president is traveling. You see important people. You see the chief of staff, minister of this, minister of that,
just to be waved at by the president.
Wave at the president and all of that. And then another thing that comes to my mind is, there is this Yoruba proverb. I really wish I can use it. It says Tiwoba Sheda da Ara that if you are doing well, you will be quick to do certain things. The reason why our government cannot emulate this attitude is because they know what they have done. They dare not walk alone. They not walk alone.
They can't walk alone.
This Dioma Ifai himself and his team are the only one that comes out of the aircraft and go to wherever it is, because they have pure mind. They are the people's person. The people are looking forward to them.
The people voted for him.
Exactly. So the lesson to draw out from this is that Nigerian government can do better. We can, if the young people, if, like you said, young people with young initiative, we can actually learn. If a boy that is not as old as I am can do all of these things, then I myself, I can do better. We can draw lessons from this out on cost of governance. It is not in this implementation. It's not this thing that Nigerians are saying. It's not about saying cho. We don't want to say cho. We want to say implementation, and implementation has to start from the top. It is not about taxing people. I watched Margaret Thatcher's story years ago, her speech when she was addressing taxation in the country. She said that it is not about taxing people. It is about cutting the cost of governance from the top, cutting the fleet of cars, reducing the yachts. You don't need to get new cars. You don't need all of this, traveling that. We can actually cut down cost of governance from the top. So this is the lesson that I drew from Dioma Ifai. Very quickly, I like that we react on the recent police brutality that we are seeing. The videos will be displayed while we'll have the conversation. There is the case of the journalist that was arrested all because he's an human rights activist. The person of Daniel Ojukwu is a human rights activist and a journalist, and he was making a statement on police brutality and how you see that most of these people who are handling these offices, most of them are corrupted. They are up to it is difficult for them to say the truth. And on this course, he was arrested and all of that. Then what was this man's name? Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate for the AAC party in 2023. He went out to protest for him and all of that. If it is possible to have the video in display, you say, but I just want us to quickly chip in the conversation on this. So this man is the only, I think he's also a human rights activist. He's the only one that is currently vocal about the case of this journalist. Quite a number of persons are not saying anything about it. That man has been in the custody of the police for the past 7 days, if I'm correct. But then I would like to hear your thoughts on this case. Could we say that the Nigerian government, because the journalism, the media is supposed to be the fourth realm of the estate of governance. They are supposed to have a say at any point in time. They are supposed to say the truth as it is. But then most of our mainstream medias are not even talking about the case of this man. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, generally as well on police brutality.
I had made mention of something earlier about why some people are finding it difficult to talk. I know we are not pleased with so many things that is happening now. Is because of, should I say, the government has their suppressive and oppressive way of governance. Now, everybody is afraid to say the truth. Now, the case of this journalist, I'm sure he works for a media house. They are equally out to defend him, but nothing has been done. Now, because people are now living in fear, I tell you, a man who in a place, we hear cases, not that we see cases of police brutality every day. They don't do this in what is being done. When you see some of them are, just imagine some of these people. If some of them cannot even express themselves, so arrogant, so they are not. You discover that they are not properly trained as to be police officers. They do things in a way that nothing will happen. They are not, honestly, police brutality, especially this time around, under this administration, has increased. There used to be police brutality before, but under this administration, it has really increased. And it is high time that, I wonder why they gave these police people have this slogan, police is your friend. Because they are not friendly. They are never friendly at all. So I don't know why they are given that slogan that police is your friend. When they sometimes they are the people that nation has become something else.
Well, on the case of police brutality, on the story of that man, I think it is the reason why you see a lot of, I'm not supposed to be saying this, but then it is the truth. You see, I think last week, Akpabio prevented about 10 television stations from accessing the Senate House. The Senate House for that day is going to be undisclosed to the people, and that was it. Then,
is that supposed to be so?
In the rule, the media should have access to any information. They have because they serve as a watchdog to the people. Whatever that is going in there, they have the right to access it. But then what we can deduce from it is that you see quite a number of mainstream medias. It's with it take a revolution to be able to reform that sector, because most of them must have delved their hands into what they are not supposed to do. So that must have been the case. And on the case of Daniel Ojukwu, he's a human rights activist, and it is any human rights activist, it is expected that someday you will do something that will warrant you to be locked up. So I love the fact that Omoyele Sowore is vocal about this, and hopefully that man will be he will be released soon, because even the commissioner of police, because it is the DSS that is handling the case of Daniel Ojuku, they wanted to pay bail for this man. The DSS refused bail. On what cause are you refusing bail? They cannot explain it. Even the commissioner of police himself came on his ex handle to mention that we have been trying to release this guy. The DSS are not agreeing to
Under whose order are they
on
refusing?
what basis, again, is what we don't know. But hopefully, as we follow up on this case and see the outcome of this, we hope that this guy will be released soon, because quite a number of top activists are handling this case already, because he has done nothing wrong. According to them, they said he, but what law? I tried to check it. He has the right. He's a journalist, for crying out loud. He has the right to delve into any of these conversations. So let's just keep tab on the story and see. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I really want to commend the effort of this man who is frontlining the move for his release. I hope other people, influential personalities in this nation, can join him. On this hashtag. Also, discover that the voice will travel far. So we pray and hope that he gets his freedom as soon as possible.
Exactly. So up with the story of the TikToker who did the challenge of being buried alive for 24 hours. Very quickly, let's see the video, and I want to hear your general overview on it before we wrap up.
Hey.
Guys, I've been buried alive for over 8 hours now. For those of you who saw my first video, like I've been down here, as you can see, my camera is still rolling. I have my light down there. I'm sweating, guys. I've already used of units here, and I have eaten. I've taken water. Guys, this challenge is not easy as I thought. The only challenge I'm having is this my hand fan I have here is the only hand fan I brought in here. Then I forgot to bring his charger. I fear, guys, because this fan is the only thing that is helping me out. As you can see, the
so who wants to help this guy? Who wants to bring fan for? Are you ready to go and give him fan? Even though
Now the thing is that
what
does he want to bring out from this? Or this kind of challenge? What point is he trying to prove?
Maybe he wants to trend.
I don't know who buried him. Is it that he buried? Can anybody bury himself? He said he has been buried alive for how many hours? Before who buried him, and what does he want to bring out of it?
Okay, so we'll leave Nigerians to help us to look at this story too, because he said he needs a charger, even though he's done with the challenge. But if it was you, would you have opened the
maybe somebody can go and give him hand fan?
Exactly, too. So he can. So this is all that we can take on the newspaper review segment for today. We hope you've had a great week. I am Ayo, and before we leave the studio, we'd like that you follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, we're Prime Media TV. On Instagram and TikTok, Prime Media Studio. On the website, we are enginespeak.com, and on the you can as well follow us on YouTube at Engine Speak. I'm Ayo until I come your way again today.